In today's video, we're going to cover how much rent you should be charging or how much rent you should be paying for a rental property. Now, if you're a real estate investor, you're obviously more interested in what the most is that you can charge for a property in the condition that your property is in. If you're a tenant, you obviously want to make sure that you're not potentially overpaying for rent. So let's dive right in. A couple of these tools are free and two of them are paid. The first one we're going to use is Rentometer or Rentometer, however you pronounce that. We have a pro account, which allows us to run kind of some extra reports and get a little bit more details. So we're going to do an old property that my wife and I used to live at. This is in a suburb of Indianapolis. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And I'm going to say, I feel like rent should be $1,000. Now, as we can see, kind of my feeling for what rent should be looks to be a little bit off here. So we're going to look at kind of the full report here. And this will show us kind of what the averages are, as well as even particular properties. So it'll also show us whether or not it's a house or an apartment. Typically, a house is going to rent more for an apartment, but also depends on amenities and things of that nature. So as we can see here, 2 bedrooms on average are renting for $713 a month, when a year ago they were about $650. $687. So rent has gone up a little bit, so that's good. But if I were to try to rent this property out for $1,000 a month, chances are that it may not, it probably wouldn't rent. It looks like on the high end here, there's a condo for $825, another condo for $995. But for the most part, stuff really just isn't that high. You can also sort by distance and things of that nature, which is pretty nice. Anytime you're looking at like how much you could rent a property for, what rent comps are, you want to make sure you're comparing like to like and also looking at properties that are near each other. For instance, a 3-bedroom is going to pull more than a 2. A property with a half bath for guests or something is going to be more desirable than something that, doesn't have that, and everybody's got to kind of use the same bathroom. You can also look at like property details, and they'll kind of give you a little bit more info to see, does this look like what I think it is? This is listed as a condo, but looks to me like it's potentially part of a duplex. It's actually pretty small, 630 square feet. So one con that we've seen with Rentometer, and I don't know where they get this or how it works, but sometimes when you punch in like what you think a property should rent for, we've seen it come up as like a comp on something else. So that wouldn't really be a comp. That's not what it rented for. Now they're pulling from all kinds of sources, public and private, to try to determine what people are renting properties for. But just know, it's not going to be perfect. So Rentometer is normally where I would start. After that, I'm really going to go over to Zillow and just kind of see what's renting in the area. So this is kind of the part of town we're looking at. I'm going to change this to for rent, not for sale. And we can just kind of see what's currently available. So really not a ton of inventory. It looks like, zoom out a little bit. Looks like we've got 3-bedroom, 1-bath house for $975. So if I was asking $1,000 for my, 2-1, it's potentially a little bit high. And then this one has looks like a 2-car garage, which mine doesn't have. And they're asking $1,350. So, if I just looked at the Rentometer data, I may have felt like $1,000 was out of the question. But if I look at their data, they're kind of saying that the average is really about $700. But if I look at what's kind of currently available in this area, And, I know if you go south of this street or east of this street, it's kind of, these are different areas. So I really want to be looking kind of in this same part. So that actually tells me that I could probably get more than $700 for rent for this house. Now, another good place to look that you can look for free is Craigslist. And I would recommend searching by area. So we're going to do map view. And I do 2 bedrooms. It looks like there's like a newer subdivision or a newer apartment there, but doesn't actually look like there's much on Craigslist right now. So that's kind of a bust. The third and last place you can look, and this is going to be the most expensive of all of kind of the tools to figure out how much you should charge or how much you can charge in rent, is this tool called Rentrange. They're not super cheap. I want to say they're like $15 a report, but they pride themselves on being, quote, like the most accurate rent comp tool out there. So I would be remiss if I didn't share this one with you guys. They want me to log back in, so we'll do that real quick. All right, and I'm going to re-enter this address. Give them a second to pull it. So they've got it as 2 bedroom, 1 bath, which is correct, as is the square footage. So we're going to click continue here. And place my order. Didn't cost me anything because I'd already prepaid for the report. I had 3 sitting in my account here. And here we are. All right, so they are stating that they believe their estimate should be $958. I think I would actually be comfortable throwing this property out at $900 or $950. So, one reason I would recommend not just going off of Rentometer, I would have severely underpriced this rental. I mean, if I even looked at just what was available in that area, I would have been like almost half off what some other folks were charging. They've got a 90% confidence in that. And they even have the days on the market versus vacancy, which is pretty nice. This is actually a really nice tool, particularly if you are a new investor and just want to be extra cautious and you're analyzing a deal. It's worth spending $15 to really get kind of some good details. They only went out 0.65 of a mile, pulled 30 comps. So, I could expect that it's going to take me about a month to fill this property at that 958. Show you saturation and things of that nature, and then all kinds of breakdown. So much different than the numbers we were seeing on Rentometer. But it'll also show you, if things are going up or down or staying the same, as well as kind of definitions and everything. So if you are trying to decide how much rent to charge, I would always start with kind of the free or cheaper tools just to get a rough idea. But when it comes time to actually pricing what you want to charge for rent, I would highly recommend using the most exact sources you can. So rent comps off the MLS or something like Rentrange. Now I do want to be blunt. I don't have affiliate tools or affiliate codes or anything for any of these tools. This is just strictly services that we've used that I found super valuable and wanted to share with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more helpful kind of tips and tricks like this. I hope this helped you figure out how much you can charge in rent for your property. Thanks.